Kai stood before the Galactic Council chamber, his heart pounding in his chest. He had always known the Council didn't like humans. They saw them as wild, unpredictable, and a threat to peace in the galaxy. But he never imagined they would. Send him to die on a planet no one dared to visit. The chamber was cold and filled with serious faces. The council members wore robes of different colors, showing their ranks and planets. One of them spoke with a calm but firm voice. Kai, your actions have caused concern. Your people's rapid growth and strength cannot be ignored. For the safety of the galaxy, you are to be sent to Veltraxis. There you will no longer interfere, Kai's mind raced. Veltraxis, the Deathworld. It was a place no one ever returned? From a planet with poisonous air, savage creatures, and endless storms. It was called Deathworld because it was deadly to every living thing. This was their way to get rid of him quietly. I will survive, Kai said quietly, trying to show courage. But inside, fear clawed at him. They sealed his fate without trial or chance to explain. He was just a tool to be removed. The next day, Kai was loaded into a small ship with little supplies. The ship's engines roared as it blasted off, heading toward the dark star where Veltraxis orbited. He looked out the window and felt the weight of loneliness press down. The journey was rough. The ship shook in the asteroid belt, and warnings blinked on the control panel. When Kai landed on Veltraxis, the air was thick and heavy. His mask filtered the poisonous gases, but every breath was a reminder of danger. Outside, the sky was a strange orange-red and dark clouds rolled across the horizon. The ground beneath his feet was rocky and cracked. Strange sounds echoed in the distance, growls, screeches, and the rustling of unknown creatures. Kai knew he could not stay in the ship. The Council would send no help. He had to survive on his own. He took a deep breath and stepped out, gripping a small survival pack tightly. His training kicked in. Years ago, he had learned how to live in harsh places, deserts, mountains, frozen lands, but nothing like this. The first hours were tense. The sun was weak, barely warming the cold ground. Kai found a shallow cave to shelter in. His stomach growled. He had no food. He opened his pack and found only basic rations, hard biscuits, and a water pouch. As night fell, the temperature dropped. Strange eyes watched from the darkness. Kai's heart pounded, but he forced himself to stay calm. The Council wanted him dead, but he wanted to live. In the cave, he lit a small fire using a solar lighter. The flickering flames pushed back the shadows. Kai thought about Earth, his home planet. He missed the blue sky, the green trees, and the laughter of his friends. Here, there was only silence, broken by alien sounds. Suddenly, the cave shook. Something heavy was moving outside. Kai grabbed a metal pipe for protection. A large shadow appeared at the entrance, a creature with sharp claws and glowing eyes. It growled low. Kai's breath froze. He had never seen such a beast. It stepped closer, its teeth bared. But Kai did not run. He remembered his training. Stand firm, show no fear. The creature sniffed the air, then suddenly turned and ran away. Kai sighed in relief. He knew Veltraxis was full of dangers, but he had survived worse. His mind began to think ahead. He needed shelter, water, food, and a plan to contact anyone. The next morning, Kai left the cave and explored. He found strange plants with thick leaves and colorful flowers, but he did not dare eat them. The ground was littered with bones of unknown animals. Far off, a river flowed clear and fast. Kai hurried there, drinking carefully. The water was cold but clean. As days passed, Kai built a small shelter using rocks and branches. He set traps for small creatures and learned to move quietly to avoid predators, but Veltraxis was not just a place of death. One evening, as the sun set, Kai saw a figure watching him from the trees. A woman with pale blue-purple skin, strange ears like an elf, and eyes that held both curiosity and caution. She vanished before he could speak. Kai felt a spark of hope. Maybe this Deathworld was not empty after all. Kai's journey had only just begun. Kai woke up just before dawn. The chill of Veltraxis's night still lingered in the air. He rubbed his tired eyes and looked around his small shelter. The rocky walls gave some safety, but the sounds of the wild were never far. His thoughts drifted to the strange figure he had seen the evening before the alien woman. Who was she? Why did she watch him but never come close? Was she friend or foe? Questions swirled in Kai's mind, but there were no answers yet. He packed his few supplies carefully and stepped out into the pale morning light. The sky was painted with soft oranges and pinks, but Kai knew the harshness of the day would soon follow. Valtraxis was beautiful in a strange way, but deadly all the same. Kai moved quietly through the rocky terrain looking for food. His traps had caught a few small animals, but he was still weak from hunger. The ground was dry and plants were scarce. Survival here was a test of patience, and suddenly a rustle nearby caught his attention. He froze. From behind a large rock stepped the alien woman. Her skin was pale blue-purple, smooth and soft-looking. Her eyes were large and bright, filled with curiosity. She had long dark hair tied back, and her small, pointed ears twitched slightly. Kai's heart raced, but he did not show fear. Instead, he raised his hand in greeting. "Hello," he said gently. "I mean no harm." The woman stared at him silently. Then, in a voice soft but clear, she spoke a few words in a strange language. Kai shook his head, showing he did not understand. She took a step closer, but stopped. Her eyes searched his face as if deciding whether to trust him. After a long moment, she spoke again, this time in broken Galactic standard. "Danger." "Here. You not safe," Kai nodded slowly. "I know. I am trying to survive." She looked at him for a long time. Then, without a word, she turned and started to walk away. Kai called after her, "Wait, please, I want to help. Maybe we can help each other." She stopped but did not turn around. Kai took a deep breath and followed her carefully, not wanting to scare her away. They moved through the rocky hills and finally came to a hidden valley. The air here was fresher and the plants were greener. A small stream ran through the middle and strange flowers bloomed along the banks. "This place? Safe?" the woman said, looking around. "My home." Kai looked at her. "What is your name?" She hesitated. "Nyera. Nyera," Kai repeated, smiling. "I am Kai." Nyera nodded, then sat on a rock near the stream. She watched Kai closely. Kai sat beside her, feeling tired but hopeful. "How do you survive here?" he asked. Nyara touched the ground and pointed to several small traps made from vines and sticks. "Hunters catch food, but big danger." Kai understood. "Maybe I can help fix traps. I know how to build better ones." Nyara's eyes brightened slightly. "Maybe friend?" Kai smiled. "Yes, friend." For the first time since arriving on Valtraxis, Kai felt less alone. Over the next days, Kai and Nyara worked together. Kai taught her how to make stronger traps and simple tools from stones and metal scraps he found. Nyara showed Kai which plants were safe to eat and how to find fresh water. Kai learned that Nyara's people once lived in many parts of Valtraxis but were hunted by machines sent by the Galactic Council. Her tribe had hidden in this valley for years, avoiding detection. Nyara trusted Kai more with each passing day. She shared stories of her people, how they valued peace, nature, and knowledge. She showed him ancient carvings on rocks, telling of old times when her kind and humans once traded and helped each other. Kai listened, fascinated. He never knew that humans and aliens could have such history. It made him wonder what the council really wanted to hide. One evening, as the two sat by their small fire, Nyara looked at Kai with tired eyes. "You not like others," she said. "Softly, you different." Kai smiled, feeling warmth in the cold night. "Maybe we are not so different." Suddenly, a distant roar broke the quiet. The ground trembled slightly. Both stood up, alert. "Big beast," Nyara warned. "We must be careful." Kai nodded and grabbed his metal pipe. "We will face it together." As the sound grew closer, Kai and Nyara prepared to defend their new home. But deep inside, Kai felt something stronger than fear. Hope. Hope that this death world might become a place of life, not death. Hope that he might find more than just survival here. Hope that in this strange land, he might find a friend. Kai and Nyara stood side by side. eyes fixed on the dark shape moving swiftly through the trees. The growl grew louder, vibrating through the ground. It was a massive beast, its eyes glowing faintly in the fading light. Kai tightened his grip on the metal pipe. "We can't fight it head-on. We need to be smart," Naira nodded. She led Kai deeper into the valley, toward a cluster of large rocks and thick bush. "Here," she whispered. "Trap." Kai looked around. Naira pointed to a narrow path covered with sharp, hidden spikes, ancien. T-traps left by her tribe. Danger for beast. Together they prepared to lure the creature into the trap. Kai stepped out and made a noise, drawing the beast's attention. The creature charged, but just as it reached the spike-covered ground, it yelped in pain and backed off. Kai and Naira exchanged a relieved glance. The trap had worked. As night fell, the valley grew quiet again. The small fire between them crackled softly. Kai looked around the hidden place. It was surrounded by tall trees and protected by rocky cliffs. The air here was cooler and cleaner than the rest of Veltraxis. "This place saved us," Naira said softly. Kai nodded. "It could be a home." Over the next days, Kai and Naira explored the valley and its surroundings. Kai was amazed at how much life still existed in this harsh world. Strange birds with bright feathers flew overhead. Small animals darted between the bush. Naira showed Kai secret paths and hidden caves where her tribe stored food and tools. She told stories of their ancestors who built this valley into a refuge, a last safe place on Veltraxis. One day, while searching near an old cave, Kai found strange metal pieces half buried in the dirt. He cleaned them and discovered they were parts of a broken machine, ancient technology left behind long ago. Naira's eyes lit up. "Old tech, dangerous, but helpful." Kai carefully examined the parts. "Maybe I can fix something." Together, they carried the pieces back to their shelter. Kai worked on the machine, using his knowledge of human technology. Naira brought tools and helped as best she could. Days passed, and slowly the machine hummed to life, a small drone with cracked armor and blinking lights. Kai smiled. "Not bad for a Deathworld," Naira laughed softly. "Maybe this old tech will help us." Kai felt a new hope rising inside him. They could use this machine to explore, gather information, and protect the valley. One evening, while watching the sunset, Kai asked Naira, "Why did your people hide here? What happened?" To the rest, Naira's face grew sad. "Council. They sent machines to hunt us. We lost many. They want to erase us." Kai's fists clenched. The Galactic Council had sent him here to die, but they were also hunting Naira's people. He felt anger but also a deep sense of justice. "We must stop them," Kai said firmly. "Not just for you, but for all who suffer." Naira looked at him with a mixture of hope and doubt. "You think humans can fight, Council?" Kai nodded slowly. "Maybe not with weapons alone, but with brains, courage, and truth." Naira smiled faintly. "You are different, Kai, not like others," Kai smiled back. "Maybe we can change things." That night, as Kai rested, he dreamed of Earth and the stars beyond. He knew his fight was just beginning. But here, with Naira by his side, he felt ready. Veltraxis was no longer just a death world. It was a place where hope could grow far above the hostile world of Veltraxis. The Galactic Council watched in disbelief. Their surveillance ships hovered silently in orbit, their sensors scanning the dangerous planet below. The Council members were gathered again in their great chamber. The glowing holoscreens showing the last images from Veltraxis. Kai was still alive. This news shocked the Council. He was supposed to be dead. The harsh environment, the savage creatures, none had ever survived for long. Yet here was Kai, moving across the surface, building shelter, and even managing to send signals. Councillor Varen slammed his fist on the table, his voice sharp and angry. "How is this possible? He should have perished like all others before him. The death world was meant to be his grave." A quieter voice answered, "Councillor Laura, perhaps we underestimated the resilience of humans. They adapt quickly. He may have found an advantage we do not know." The debate grew heated. Some council members wanted to send a strike force to finish the job. Others suggested studying Kai to understand how humans survive and thrive in such conditions. Meanwhile, far below, Kai and Naira worked together in their hidden valley. The small drone Kai had repaired hummed softly, scanning the area and sending back data. One day, as Kai explored near a rocky outcrop, he discovered a strange satellite buried in dirt and vines. It was damaged but mostly intact. Its surface was covered with symbols and buttons, old technology from long ago. Kai's eyes lit up. "Naira, look at this. Maybe it can help us." Naira stepped closer, her fingers tracing the faded markings. Old Galactic tech. Council made many mistakes. Left secrets here. Kai carefully opened the satellite's control panel. He found a small data core inside. Using tools and knowledge from his homeworld, he began repairing the connections. Hours later, the satellite blinked to life. Lights flickered on and a soft hum filled the valley. The screen showed static at first, then lines of strange codes. Kai worked through the night, decoding what he could. As dawn approached, he found hidden files, logs, recordings, and maps. Among them was a recording from the Galactic Council. Naira leaned close, her eyes wide with shock as the message played. "The Council's plan is clear," the recording said in a cold voice. "The Veltraxis species must be eliminated. They are a threat to galactic order. No mercy is to be shown." Kai's fists clenched. "They wanted to wipe out your people." Naira's voice was soft but firm. "They are killers." Kai looked at her. "We must warn others." "We can't let this happen," Naira nodded. "But how? No one listens to us here." Kai's mind raced. "If we can send this data to other planets, maybe we can expose the Council's crimes." Together, they worked to repair the satellite's transmission system. Kai used parts from the drone and old tools to boost the signal. Days passed with small successes and failures. The jungle seemed to watch them silently, as if waiting for their move. One evening, as the sky darkened, the transmission system finally powered up. Kai connected the data core to the relay beacon. "Now," Kai said, eyes fixed on the screen. He sent the files, the recordings, and the maps through the galaxy's communication networks. Far away, planets received the message. The truth about the Council's secret war was spreading fast. Back on Veltraxis, Kai and Naira felt a new hope rising. They were no longer alone in their fight, but the Council was not silent. They noticed the breach and quickly prepared a response. Strike teams were sent to find the source and stop the spread. Kai looked at Naira. "They will come for us." Naira stood tall. "Then we will be ready." Together they prepared the valley for defense. Using their knowledge, they set traps and alarms. The small drone patrolled the skies. Kai smiled at Naira. "We fight not just to live, but to change the future." Naira's eyes shone with determination. "For my people and for yours." The war between the Council and the survivors of Veltraxis was only beginning, but Kai and Naira were ready to face whatever came next. The first warning came as a faint hum in the quiet valley. Kai and Naira were sharpening their tools when the drone's alert beeped softly. Kai rushed to the control panel and watched the screen. "Incoming ships," the drone reported. "Council strike team approaching Veltraxis atmosphere." Naira's face hardened. "They have come. We must prepare." The valley, once peaceful, transformed into a fortress. Kai and Naira set traps along all known paths, using their knowledge of the terrain. Thorny vines stretched across narrow passes. Pits covered with branches hid sharp stakes, and carefully placed rocks stood ready to fall on any enemy below. Kai looked at Naira. "We can't fight their ships. We must use the ground." Naira nodded. "Their strength is numbers and weapons. Our strength is the land and our minds." As the ships descended, dark shapes appeared in the sky. The Council's drones and soldiers were ready for battle. Kai checked his gear, a simple metal pipe, a few sharp stones, and a sling he had made. Naira carried a curved blade made by her tribe, sharp and light. The first strike team landed on the rocky ground near the valley's edge. The soldiers moved cautiously, scanning the area. Kai and Naira stayed hidden in the thick bush. They watched as the soldiers activated scanners, searching for any sign of life. Kai whispered, "They will not find us easily," Nyera replied. "But if they do, we must be ready." Suddenly, a loud crack echoed through the trees. One of the traps had sprung. A soldier fell into a pit and screamed. The others turned quickly. Kai and Nyera used this moment to strike. Nyera threw her blade, cutting through the ropes holding a net. It fell on two soldiers, trapping them. Kai swung his pipe at an approaching drone, smashing its sensors. The machine crashed into a tree. Chaos erupted as the trap slowed the strike. Team, the valley's natural dangers worked in Kai and Nyera's favor. They moved silently, striking quickly and disappearing into the shadows. But the enemy was prepared. The council soldiers called for reinforcements, and more ships arrived. The valley shook under the roar of engines. Kai and Nyera realized the battle was far from over. Retreating to their shelter, they checked their wounds and supplies. Nyera looked at Kai with concern. "We cannot win by strength alone," she said. "We must find another way." Kai nodded. "There is a vault beneath the valley. An ancient place, it may hold power to help us." Nyera's eyes widened. "The vault, my ancestors built it. It is hidden and protected." Together they made their way to the secret entrance, a narrow cave concealed by vines and rocks. Inside, the air was cool and damp. Walls were covered with glowing crystals, casting soft light. Old carvings told stories of Nyera's people and their connection to the galaxy. At the cave's end, they found a large metal door with symbols they could barely understand. Kai worked quickly, using tools to unlock the door's mechanisms. With a heavy creak, it slowly opened. Inside, a vast chamber stretched before them, filled with strange machines and glowing panels. In the center stood a large console, covered in dust but still functional. Nyera approached the console and touched the controls. The machines hummed softly, lights flickering on. Kai connected the drone to the vault system. The machines responded, powering up shields and scanning for threats. Outside, the council forces advanced, unaware that Kai and Nyera had awakened. The valley's ancient defenses, the shield generator projected a shimmering barrier over the valley, blocking enemy ships and soldiers from entering. Kai smiled. "Now we have a chance," Nyera nodded. "We protect our home." As the battle raged outside, Kai and Nyera explored the vault's archives. They found information about the council's plans and technology. Kai's eyes widened as he read. "This is proof. The council planned to destroy your people and keep it secret." Nyera's voice was steady. "We must share this with the galaxy," Kai agreed. "The truth can be our weapon." Suddenly alarms blared. The council had sent a powerful assault team, equipped with advanced weapons. Kai and Nyera prepared themselves. They knew the fight for Veltraxis and their future was just beginning, but together, they had strength, hope, and the will to survive. The shield around the valley shimmered softly, protecting Kai, Nyera, and their hidden vault from the relentless attacks of the Galactic Council's strike teams. Outside, the enemy soldiers paced restlessly, unable to break through the barrier. But the threat was far from over. Inside the vault, Kai and Nyera worked tirelessly. They had to find a way to send their message to the galaxy before the council could silence them completely. Kai studied the ancient communication arrays with sharp eyes. "If we can boost the signal and use the old relay beacons, we can broadcast everything, the proof of the council's plans and their lies." Nyera nodded, "But it will take time, and the council will not wait." Days passed as they repaired the ancient systems, carefully avoiding the watchful eyes of the enemy. The valley had become a battlefield, but inside the vault, it was a place of hope and determination. One evening, as Kai rested beside the glowing console, Nyera sat beside him. Her eyes were tired but bright with purpose. "Kai," she said softly, "I have made a choice." Kai looked up, curious. "What is it?" Nyera took a deep breath. "For years I hid. I protected this valley and my people from the council's hatred. But hiding has not stopped the war. Now I will rise. I will reveal the truth to the galaxy, no matter the cost." Kai smiled warmly. "You are brave, Nyera, and you are not alone." She reached out, her hand resting on his. Together, we can change the future. With renewed strength, they worked through the night. The communication system was ready. Kai began sending the data, file by file, message by message. The recordings, the maps, the Council's secret orders all streamed into the galaxy's network. Far beyond Veltraxis, the signals reached planets and systems, stirring anger and disbelief. The Council's carefully hidden war was no longer a secret. On many worlds, protests erupted. Leaders demanded answers. The Council faced questions they could not avoid. Back on Veltraxis, Kai and Nyera watched the stars, hoping their message would bring change, but the Council would not surrender. Quietly, as the last files were sent, alarms blared in the vault. The shield flickered and weakened. The enemy had found a way to break through. Kai stood, ready for battle. "They are coming." Nyera drew her blade, eyes fierce. "Then we fight not just for ourselves, but for all who suffer." Outside, the Council's forces stormed the valley, breaking through traps and defenses. The ground shook under the weight of their weapons. Kai and Nyera moved swiftly, guiding survivors and protecting the vault's entrance. In the midst of the chaos, Nyera called out, "Kai, to the caves!" They raced through hidden tunnels, escaping. The battle above. Kai paused at the edge of the valley, looking back. The place he had called home was under siege, but the message was out. He felt hope, even in the darkness. Deep in the caves, Kai and Nyera found an ancient chamber, one last secret of Nyera's ancestors. It held a beacon powerful enough to send a final, strong signal across the stars. Nyera activated the beacon. A soft pulse spread through the caves, reaching distant galaxies. Kai smiled. "This is our promise. The truth will be heard." The battle outside raged on, but inside the caves, a new chapter had begun. Kai and Nyera prepared for what came next, knowing their fight was far from over, but they were ready. Together, the message sent from Veltraxis spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Planets far and wide received the evidence of the Galactic Council's secret war against Nyera's people and the harsh exile of Kai. The truth could no longer be hidden. Protests erupted on many worlds. Citizens demanded justice, demanding the Council explain their actions. The leaders of powerful systems held emergency meetings, questioning the Council's decisions. Back on Veltraxis, Kai and Nyera watched the stars from the safety of their hidden caves. The valley was scarred from battle, but the shield held long enough for their message to be heard. Kai turned to Nyera. "We did it. The galaxy knows the truth now." Nyera smiled softly, though her eyes showed weariness. "But the fight is not over." Suddenly, a voice came through their repaired communication system. It was from an unexpected Alaya representative from a nearby star system, offering help and support. Kai's heart lifted. "We are not alone." The Council, under growing pressure, was forced to withdraw its forces from Veltraxis. Their public image suffered greatly. Many Council members resigned or were removed. News spread that Kai was a hero, a symbol of human resilience and courage. Nyera became a living proof of the Council's betrayal. Despite the victories, Kai chose not to return to the grand halls of the Galactic Council. Instead, he stayed on Veltraxis with Nyera, helping rebuild the valley and protect its future. Together they planted seeds in the once barren land. Slowly, green shoots began to sprout, signs of new life and hope. Kai looked around at the valley, now alive with birdsong and gentle streams. "This is home," Nyera nodded. "A new beginning." The bond between Kai and Nyera grew stronger, built on trust, respect, and shared dreams. They knew challenges lay ahead, but together they could face anything. The galaxy had learned a powerful lesson. Truth and courage could shake even the greatest powers. And on a once-forgotten Deathworld, life and hope bloomed like never before.